Media, positive and negative impact in culture. A beautiful day everyone. Today we will help you learn what is media culture. Obviously today, in new digital technology, new communication networks were introduced. This includes television, radio, advertising, movies, the internet, newspapers, magazines, and so forth. Media fulfill several basic roles in our society. One important role is entertainment and can act as a springboard for our imaginations, a source of fantasy, and an outlet for escapism. Wherein, media culture tends a significant force in modern culture, also called by sociologists as mediated culture, where media reflects and creates the culture.
First, it is important for us to distinguish between culture and mass media and to attempt a working definition of culture. Mass media specifically refers to a means of communication that is designed to reach a wide audience. Mass media platforms are commonly considered to include radio, newspapers, magazines, books, video games, and internet media such as blogs, podcasts, and video sharing. Many different kinds of mass media exist and have existed for centuries. Both the messages and the media affect culture, which is a diffused collection of behaviors, practices, beliefs, and values that are particular to a group, organization, or institution. Culture and media exert influence on each other in subtle, complex ways. Purpose of media. Purpose number 1, to inform. Informative media is any media that informs or provides information to an audience. Example, like how does media provide information in this clip? Watch the video clip and answer the following questions on your paper. WHO. What, when, where, why, how. Purpose number 2, to persuade. Persuasive media is any media that persuades a person or group to do, buy, or believe something. Purpose number 3, to entertain. Entertaining media is any media that entertains an audience through interesting ideas, humorous concepts, or media itself. Media classification. Print media, newspapers, magazines. Broadcast media, television, radio. Outdoor or out-of-home media, billboards, transit. Internet, websites, emails. So, what is media culture? How does media affect culture? And why is it important in the cultural sphere? Media culture was introduced before 20th century and alludes to the overall impact and intellectual guidance exerted by the media, primarily TV, but also the press, radio and cinema, not only on public opinion but also on tastes and values. The current level of media saturation has not always existed before. During 1960s and 1970s, even some middle-class households did not even own a television. Today, media-dominated, movies and magazines, particularly those lining the aisles at grocery checkout stands, also play a powerful role in culture, as do other forms of media. Media culture is a society or culture that has been vastly influenced by mass media wherein communication occurs instantly across massive populations. This represents a dramatic and relatively recent shift from traditional cultures that were formed with a process of person-to-person communication. Cultural studies wherein popular media culture seek to bring to the surface the ideologies and political ideas hidden in mass media entertainment, in the belief that media culture transmits ideologies that reinforce oppressive structures of class, gender, sexuality and race through popular representation.
Here are illustrated the different examples of media culture. Shared experience, the process of bonding with others, also developing shared meaning by experiencing the same things. For example, you are in a concert that allows you to enjoy music you love with 100,000 of people who feel the same, or audience watching a film that is enjoyed in America and also enjoyed by Filipino audiences despite of distance. You are sharing the same experiences. Broadcast media. This was shaped in 20th century, a communication mode that reaches a large audience from a single source, such as traditional television, film, newspapers and radio. Propaganda. Media is a powerful tool that are often used by governments to shape worldview, opinions and attitudes. For example, party list or supporters that are posting good deeds of a politician in order for them to believe she is worthy. Culture lag, the tendency for technology to change things before society and culture have time to adapt. Culture is slow and has a stabilizing effect, while technology typically pushes forward aggressively and without thought to consequences. For example, culture eventually adapts to bend the technology to human needs. Like the emerged of privacy awareness among social media platforms and anonymity after the transition to internet media in 1990s. Advertising, this creates large market for advertising whereby firms pay to reach an audience with a message. For example, consumers will be aware of interest rates and fair loan in a bank or financing that is growing compared to their current bank. Therefore, let us see what are the impacts of media culture. Media impacts culture. Media provides constructive information. It can increase interest levels in particular subject or encourage them. Kids benefit from watching these, since it can boost self-esteem, heighten interest levels in a particular subject, or encourage them to ask relevant questions. Media culture gives people the freedom over their cultural environment. Media culture comprises of ideologies of class, gender, race, ethnicity and nationality. The different fashion, values and behavior are followed by the media culture. Dressings and social structures of people were affected the lives of people in many ways. Presentation of folk art and cultural dances has been replaced by television and cinemas. It is still existing, however, in traditional places only. Culture is affected as a result of globalized media. Social and public awareness. It helps various people in many ways to act against injustice, oppression and misdeeds that they wouldn't know about. We have a sense of what is happening around us, with a fair insight about how things work elsewhere on the globe. We can view the world through the television, even if we are rooted in one spot the whole time. We are living in the digital forms of culture. This digital culture shapes practical ways of human freedom. Other impacts of media. Video games today are increasingly active-oriented, making kids get off their behind and engage in games that require physical movement. This could help keep kids active indoors, if not outdoors. Negative impacts of media. Advertising can jeopardize one's idea of what beauty and health is, seeing that products revolve around these two aspects in an outrageous fashion. People are getting conscious with their looks because of the standard looks, that could lead to illness mentally and physically. The media can influence one to do things that aren't moral, like getting into substance abuse. Movies portray habits that are unhealthy as cool or mature, forcing kids to be at par with cliques who use media as a tool to manipulate vulnerable kids of the sort. In conclusion, culture and media are inseparable because media is part of culture. Media represents the various cultural heritages, activity, as it is the mediator between culture and people. Media transmits the messages in its own, and it can directly change the attitude of the people and the culture. Culture promotion and preservation is an important challenge to media to outreach. Media creates awareness of communication. The multiple cultures are represented in cultural communication. New media enable new cultures to transform society. Now that the process has accelerated to the point where it is visible on a daily basis, most people understand that new communication media mean new ways of life. Indeed, it is now possible to see how new ways of creating and distributing symbols have made it possible throughout history for people to change existing cultural practices, and through these changes in the way people socialize, to transform societies.